Hello, you're watching News Mongolia on MNB World, and I'm your host, Irtundata Inghamuklang. For our top stories, Mongolia faces a high risk of dzud this winter. NEMA receives essential equipment. A book about Mongolian historical and cultural artifacts was published in Germany. For other news, stay tuned. Mongolia is bracing for a challenging winter as experts predict that around 30% of the country's territory faces a high risk of dzud. Dzud, a severe winter phenomenon that occurs when harsh cold weather follows a dry summer, leading to insufficient pasture production and extreme conditions that are deadly for livestock.
According to meteorological reports, the country's mountainous regions are expected to see 11 to 12 centimeters of snowfall, while the Gobi region may receive 1 to 10 centimeters. The Mongolian National Meteorological Agency reports that the central and western regions are the most vulnerable to dzud. Snow and freezing temperatures could threaten survival, particularly in rural regions where herders rely on their livestock. The most at-risk provinces are Arkhanga, Bayolgi, Zavkhan, Sukhbatar, and Tuv provinces. According to NEMA risk assessment, 80 zones in these provinces are classified at high risk for dzud. Harsh winter conditions will also put additional strain on the country's economy, as Mongolia's pastoral economy is heavily dependent on the health of livestock. With a predicted decrease in pasture availability, many herders are urged to prepare for the worst by ensuring they have enough feed and supplies to support their animals through the cold months. Pasture degradation and boosting the livestock economy have become critical topics in Mongolia. However, there is a noticeable gap in training and education, which hinders progress in these areas. To address these, local technical and vocational education and training institutions should focus on raising awareness and educating herders, helping them adopt practices that can improve livestock management and pasture conservation. Experienced livestock farmers should also be encouraged to share their knowledge and successful practices with others. Their expertise could provide valuable insights into sustainable farming techniques. The government has also started taking preventive measures, working with local authorities to monitor the situation and provide aid to affected regions. Despite these efforts, the looming threat of dzud remains a significant concern for the rural population as they face another difficult winter ahead.
The frequency and scale of emergencies and disasters have increased in the 21st century, highlighting the need for robust preparedness and response mechanisms. Recognizing this, efforts are being made to ensure Mongolian rescuers are equipped with modern tools to tackle emergencies effectively. This week, the National Emergency Management Agency received 40 essential pieces of equipment to bolster its rescue operations.
The National Emergency Management Agency has recently received a significant boost with the handover of vital equipment essential for rescue operations. These resources are expected to enhance the agency's capacity to respond to disasters promptly and efficiently, safeguarding lives and property.
The renovation of the technical base for rescue workers is ongoing. During the earthquake disaster in Turkey, we noticed that renovation was required. This equipment will facilitate rescue operations in confined and risky environments.
Renovation work is underway to upgrade facilities and infrastructure critical to disaster response. These upgrades will create a more resilient and prepared agency to manage crises in a rapidly evolving world. The fire extinguishers handed over can extinguish flames using water and foam from a distance of 1 kilometer, facilitating the work of 4 to 5 rescuers. NEMA's new drone can carry up to 50 kilograms in packages as large as 5 meters.
The equipment given to 20 branches of NEMA will significantly enhance rescue capacity, with plans to include additional technical support in next year's budget.
The collaboration and support provided to NEMA underline the importance of continuous investment in disaster readiness, ensuring the agency remains equipped to meet new challenges.
Now let us take a look at Mongolia's current affairs.
Mongolian historical and cultural artifacts are preserved in different countries around the world, serving as fascinating witnesses to history. The Global Heritage Project was initiated by Cholong in 2018, following a visit to the Ethnological Museum of Berlin. After exploring the museum's collection of Mongolian artifacts, he proposed a collaborative publication. This led to the publication of the book The History and Culture of the Mongols in Germany. Project leader and editor-in-chief Cholong shared that this project focused on discovering, studying, and presenting Mongolian historical and cultural artifacts. This volume of the Global Heritage series highlights artifacts kept in Germany. The book features 18th century English photographs of the aristocracy, letters from 14th century Mongol nobility, and maps created by the Hoshot people. Looking ahead, Cholong plans to publish 20 volumes documenting Mongolian cultural artifacts worldwide, contributing to their scholarly recognition. He mentioned that the book launch coincided with the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Mongolia and Germany, adding to the event's significance. Dr. Lars Christian Koch, director of the Ethnological Museum of Berlin, emphasized that the museum houses over 1,000 Mongolian artifacts. The book's publication marks the beginning of collaborative efforts, with the second volume expected next year.
You're watching News Mongolia. Let's take a look at currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Now let's shift our attention to foreign news provided by our international partner news agencies. President-elect Donald Trump's recent summit with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and visit to Paris for the reopening of the Notre Dame Cathedral were not just exercises in negotiating trade policy and diplomacy.
For Trump, they have also become fodder for trolling. Throughout his first term as president and his recent campaign, the Republican has seemed to relish in provocative, antagonizing, and mocking statements from the nicknames he likes to create for his political opponents, the impressions he does during some of his speeches, and the many memes he shares on social media. As he prepares to assume the Oval Office once again, assembling his team and pushing his policies even before his inauguration, Trump's trolling endures. On Sunday, Trump shared a photo taken a day early of him seated near to Jill Biden at the grand reopening of the Notre Dame Cathedral, with the First Lady and wife of his Democratic rival appearing to smile at him. Trump posted the image to sell his new perfume and cologne, lying along with the words, "A fragrance your enemies can't resist." When Trudeau hastily flew to Florida to meet with Trump last month over his threat to impose a 25% tax on all products entering the U.S., the Republicans suggested that Canada become the 51st U.S. state. Trump has continued to joyfully keep up the dig, including with a message early Tuesday morning on his social media network calling the Prime Minister, Governor Justin Trudeau of the great state of Canada. A week earlier, he posted an AI-generated image that showed him standing on a mountain with a Canadian flag next to him with the caption, "Oh, Canada." Trump has long relished poking at his opponents both to demean and minimize them and to delight and enthuse his base of supporters who cheer his trolling moves in person and share his comments and posts widely online.
This year's Nobel Prize winners spoke at an awards ceremony in Sweden's Stockholm on Tuesday about their hopes and ambitions after winning their awards. A packed banquet hall saw guests listen to this year's winners while dining over a three-course meal.
The rapid progress in AI comes with many short-term risks.
There was a focus on artificial intelligence in two of the acceptance speeches with Professor David Baker, the Nobel Prize winner for physics, telling the audience that AI is already creating problems and that short-term risks posed by AI require urgent and forceful attention from governments and international organizations.
The protein design methods my colleagues and I have created promise new solutions to outstanding challenges facing humanity in health and sustainability. The wondrous diversity in nature provides inspiration for a whole new world of designed proteins to cure disease, degrade plastics and other pollutants, and help us adjust to a changing climate. The advances celebrated by this year's Chemistry Prize, I am certain, will make the world a better place.
We can build better institutions and choose a direction of technology that can generate more good jobs. But this has to be a collective effort too, by all of us in this room and beyond, including young researchers as they venture into new areas to ask the big questions about institutions, technology, inequality, and how we can secure shared prosperity in the age of AI.
Author Han Kan, 2024 Nobel Prize in Literature, dedicated her prize to people who stand in opposition to violence, while Professor David Baker, this year's Chemistry Nobel Prize winner, stated that the inspiration for proteins that could help treat diseases come from nature and would make the world a better place.
The rapid progress in AI comes with many short-term risks. It has already created divisive echo chambers by offering people content that makes them indignant. It is already being used by authoritarian governments for massive surveillance and by cybercriminals for phishing attacks. In the near future, AI may be used to create terrible new viruses and horrendous lethal weapons that decide by themselves who to kill or maim. All of these short-term risks require urgent and forceful attention from governments and international organizations.
Poised at the intersection of genetics and comparative genomics, the tiny RNA field attracted visionary students and postdocs, drawn by the ambition, exuberance, and collaborative reflexes of the worm community and other genetics communities. Thousands of us now study this little worm, Cenorhabditis elegans, a genetic discovery powerhouse.
The work of reading and writing literature stands in opposition to all acts that destroy life. I would like to share the meaning of this award, which is for literature, with you, standing here in opposition to violence together.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you tomorrow with more news and updates. Good night.